The Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 43.
Come on, bring it out.
The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come very low. That's why the most ghettos communities, man, the hood or the projects consist of Hispanics and Negroes, man.
All over the country.
All over the country, man.
And that's by design.
We are brought very low in the suburbs and the higher in the suburbs mostly are considered mostly white people, man.
By design.
By design.
All that's by design, man.
And then that is a curse that the Lord brought upon us. All those that happened to us in our history, man, is because the Lord had brought it on us because we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. It's the curses, man. And we always when we need a loan, and when we need to borrow money or to get a bank account or to get a job, we gotta go to who? The so-called white man. The white man is the one controlling everything, man. We're just Edomites, Esau, so-called white man.
Matter of fact, the whole world.
The whole world.
They got a thing called the economic bomb where they can dismay any country in the world if they don't do what America asked them to do.
Exactly.
So basically, that's where this country is coming from, man. It could surmise any country in the world, just like in ancient Rome. So ancient Rome is today is America. That's why you see all the symbols, all the columns, all the eagles flying, even on the eagles on the back of the dollar bill, on mail trucks, the whole 9 yards. They're telling you who they are as a people.
Go on.
Come on, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 60.
Come on.
Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee, man. That's what we had when Christopher Colon came here to the Americas, man. We were suffering from a plague called, what was it?
Stockholm syndrome, which is called today. Stockholm syndrome. We all got that.
What was
today.
the other one with? It was a different plague that was hitting the Native Indians when they came here. It was
diseases.
Yeah.
They gave them smallpox. Smallpox.
Yeah, smallpox, man.
Smallpox.
They genocided us with diseases called the smallpox, man. And the Native Indians were affected by that. And all the other indigenous people, man. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And now that's talking about now, man. We got what now? The Ebola, HIV, all these different diseases like STDs, man, which are engineered. Ebola, HIV. Those are not, are diseases that are not written in the book of the law, man.
Matter of fact, let me break
those are the curses.
Let me break this down, bro. Also, what my brother just iterated, the AIDS virus was by a guy by the name of Dr. Robert Gallo. He created that in a lab, and that was supposed to be to our people, but instead it was hitting our people, but it wasn't hitting our people as a greater capacity than the so-called Caucasian race. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Come on.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ship. Now, it's not talking about the land of Egypt, because when you look in the ancient world, when you look at the land of Israel and Egypt, you can walk. You don't need no boat to get from Israel to Egypt. So what is that talking about? Egypt is parabolic. It means a house of bondage. And Egypt is talking about America, and ship is talking about the transatlantic slave trade. Go on. By the way whereof I spoke unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man to buy you. So the ships are talking about the ships like the slave trade, and the bondmen and bondwomen, we're going to be sold here in America as slaves. And the native Indians of Christopher Columbus, man, he packed up native Indians and sent them to Spain and New England, man. So they also fall into this prophecy, man.
Let me say it again. My brother's right with the questions, but also Christopher Columbus, who sold my brothers and sisters love, where they go up in New York and party all the time for Columbus Day, which is wrong. They should be punished for the things that they do for this bastard, enslaving my brothers and sisters, the Taino brothers and sisters from the Northern Kingdom. But on that part, I want to say he took 1100.
The Chinese are going to captivity.
He took 1100. He took 1100 Taino Indians with him from Puerto Rico, or the island of Dominican Republic as well. And he said in his memoirs, you could read it online if you really want to, and read about what Columbus said. Columbus said that it was good economics, meaning that when he took those 1100 Taino Indians with him, and also he took the other Indians with him, which were the Batistos as well. When he took them, he said, yo, when he arrived in Spain, there was only 300. So what happened to the other ones? They cast them out in the sea, man. Plus they might have ate them too on that voyage coming back. Go ahead, brother.
The book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 6.
Come on.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem had ye sold unto the Grecians, and ye might remove and fall from the border. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem are talking about Israel, and the Grecians are the Greeks, which are the so-called white men, and who sold us to the Greeks, man, in the transatlantic slave trade was the Arabs and the Africans, man, which are the Hamites and the Ishmaelites, man. Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them. And where is that place? Talking about America. And will return your recompense upon your own head. Meaning, all the things that they did to us, man, put us into slavery, sold us into slavery, raped us, murdered us, genocided us, man, took our land, took our heritage. It's gonna be a payback, man. And all those curses gonna be swing back to Esau's and these other nations, man.
Matter of fact, bro, let's stay on that, but let's give them another scripture as well that proves that fact. Let's go into Exodus 21:16, and then we're gonna go into Revelation 13:9 and 10. Exodus 21.
Exodus 21.
16. 16.
The book of Exodus, chapter 21, verse 16.
Come on. This is their punishment, which they don't think they're going to have a punishment.
And he that stealeth a man and selleth him.
Stop. So who sold us into slavery? Who did the things that they did to our forefathers and our ancestors? That same man, we don't have to mention no names, that same man that sold us into slavery, go on, come on.
And he that stealeth a man,
didn't he steal our ancestors? Didn't he steal our ancestors off them islands? Come on.
And selleth him.
Didn't he sell us? Didn't he sell us on auction blocks and all that other stuff? Come on.
Or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
So what that means, that we are the 4 children of those people that were sold into slavery. We were those same people, your ancestors that were sold into slavery. This is this man's consequence. Now go to the book of Revelation 13 and 9 and 10.
The book of Revelation chapter 13 verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
I believe you got a brain in between your ears, so that means that you have the capacity with thought to understand what we're going to say.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Captivity is another word for slavery. Your ancestors, my ancestors, were sold into slavery. Come on.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
The sword today is the modern day gun, which was the modern day sword as well when Christopher Columbus and Herman Cortez and also Ponce de Leon that came to those countries and murdered your ancestors. These are the people that did that, as well as the so-called Caucasian, which is the so-called Caucasian white man, which means he comes from the cliffs of Europe. Come on.
Must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So my thing is, for you brothers and sisters, is to possess your soul before Christ comes. But what I see up and down the street, you don't want to possess your soul. So therefore, 2/3 of our people gotta die when nuclear destruction comes to this land. Matter of fact, let's read that, bro. Read the nuclear destruction in the book of Revelation for these people.
Book of Revelation, chapter, I believe it's in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse.
I think 8. It starts at 8, I think.
Okay, I'll start at 8. No,
We'll start at
because he's talking about the 7 keys.
7 keys.
No, it ain't that.
I think it's 11. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, there it is. I'm Salaki. The book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse. I'll start at 15. And the 4 angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the 3rd part of man. The 4 angels are talking about the 4 angels who are standing on the 4 corners of earth, ready to release those thermonuclear destructions, man. Go on. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 and thousands. The horsemen are talking about the missiles. The horses are talking about the missiles. And it's going to be 200 million missiles that's going to hit America, man.
Matter of fact, we could talk about that breakfast too. The breakfast in England that just happened, this is the collapse of Europe. So basically, you're going to see the destruction right before your face of your eyes before this world ends. Because believe it or not, the Euphrates River, like my brother just read earlier, about maybe like 25 minutes ago, the Euphrates River is dried up. ISIS just crossed it. That means the 6th angel is upon the earth. Earthquakes, tremors, all over. When I was growing up, you didn't hear about them long ago. So I'm almost pushing 60 now. So basically, the time in my era, it wasn't that many earthquakes. But now, you're seeing more earthquakes than a little bit. And this is what we trying to tell you, brothers and sisters that are out here that are lost. You know what I'm saying? You're still in darkness, and you still don't want to come to the truth. So that's why 2/3 of you got to be put to death when the Black Messiah comes.
And I heard the number of them. So when the missiles come, it's going to be 200 million missiles. You're going to hear those missiles coming, man. Go on. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. Now when you look at a regular missile, man, all the power of that missile is the head of the missile.
Absolutely.
That's why the scriptures say it's gonna be a head of a lion. When you know the anatomy of a lion, it's the jaw. The lion has the strongest jaw of all the animals, man. And that it's speaking parable, saying that that's how strong those missiles are gonna be when they hit. Go on.
Them ICBMs, man, when they come with a destructive force, that means, let me tell you what the radius is on that. I used to be in the military. I did 3 tours. So let me tell you when a missile hits. It's a 150-mile radius. That's almost near Philadelphia and New York City when that blast takes shape. That's what you got to understand. That's going to be done by nuclear fire. And when that heat, it's like you put your hand in an oven, think 1,000 or 10,000 times or 20,000 times more heat than that.
Well, honestly, man, you can't fathom that heat, man. That's gonna come from those missiles, man. It's gonna be 200 million missiles that gonna hit America, man.
And ask somebody from Japan that's still alive in their 80s.
And I heard that the one missile gets destroyed from Manhattan to Canada, man.
That's it, man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. That's over 250 miles.
Yeah. Go on. And by these 3 was the third part of man killed. Third part of man gonna be Esau, the Edomites, and the so-called and all these other nations, and the 2/3 of Israel, man. Go on. By the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of the mouth. Like we said again, the head of the missiles is where all the destruction comes. The power, the fire, the smoke, it all comes from the head of the missiles.
Come on.
For the power is in the mouth and in their tails. For the tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. The tails are talking about what brings the missile from one part to another part. So the tail is also powerful like a serpent, because when it's launched, the tail take it from one place to another, man. And these missiles are coming from Russia, North Korea, from another end of the world, man. So those are powerful missiles, man.
Not just only that, man. But listen, there won't be no place for you to hide. You can go 10 feet into the earth, maybe 60 feet in the earth. You can kiss your ass goodbye. You're done. You're done. I've been in 3 wars, man, so I know what missiles are like. You know what I'm saying? I've been shot, stabbed, everything else that you could probably imagine. And I mean, yo, if you get hit with a 50 caliber bullet or whatever, that rips a man's body apart. You know, it ain't nothing like you see out here. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine a force of a weapon that strong and that powerful. There will be nowhere you can hide. Matter of fact, they made a couple of movies like that already.
I got scripture.